Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing a very fast fat tire e-bike, the Rattan Pathfinder. Let's check it out. Alright, so this is what the Rattan Pathfinder looks like in the box when you get it. I want to give a shout out to Rattan for setting us out the Pathfinder for testing and review. So we're going to open it up, check it out on the inside, see how it's packaged. Alright, as you can see, it is wrapped up in styrofoam sheets. And you got styrofoam blocks, which I really like. That way it protects it from getting crushed in shipping. So we remove the pieces that can come out. We'll just make it easier when lifting it out of the box. Alright, we did have a little box in there. Well, let's see what this is. Alright, this looks like a headlamp. Really love that style, that old classic motorcycle style headlight. Here's another box. This is a charger. Just so you know, it is a 3.0 charger, so it is a fast charger. So you can do about 4 or 5 hours to charge your battery instead of the old 7 or 8. Inside is also a little bag. A Ziploc bag there with some tools, it looks like. And no, I see pedals. There are your pedals. And there's your user manual. And some miscellaneous tools and cable ties which you will need. Alright, let's take it out of the box. Alright, that's what it looks like wrapped up out of the box. We're going to take off the styrofoam sheets. You can see they've wrapped up pretty much almost every single piece of the bike, which is great. Because you definitely don't want to get scratches on this beautiful red paint job. Now this is a step-through model. They also have another color in step-through. They also have a step-over model with a couple colors. We're going to unwrap the rear rack. Alright, first thing we're going to do is put the rear rack on. So we're going to take off the 4 screws in the back. Then we're going to line up the rack by the holes and put the 4 screws back in and tighten it up. Now the rear taillight on the rack will need to be hooked up, so just untangle the wire there. This is where you'll need the cable ties. So they did supply you with the cable ties, but first you go ahead and plug it in. Remember, line up the arrows and just push, there's no twisting. And then you take the cable ties and just kind of cable tie it around the rear rack and then the frame all the way up toward the front there where you just plugged it in at. make it look nice and clean. Alright, now we want to put on the handlebars, but we got to remove the 4 screws on the handlebar bracket. Alright, line up the handlebars and put the bracket back on and the 4 screws. We like to put the handlebars on first before the front tire because it just gets the handlebars out of the way while you're putting on the front tire. So the handlebars are usually the first things to get installed first. And we'll put the 4 screws back on. And don't forget to cross thread them. You want equal threading on all 4 screws. You don't want one tighter than the other. Alright, time for the tire. Now the quick release skewer was attached to the spokes, so don't forget that. Don't throw it away or anything like that because it is pretty small to misplace. We want to take off the protective piece that keeps the forks straight during shipping. And don't forget also, because it's hydraulic brakes, you want to remove the spacer in there that protects it from closing, the brake pads from closing during shipping. Alright, just feed the skewer through to the other side. Put the spring on, remember small end inward, big end outward. Put the cap on, just a little bit of threading, not too much. Enough to where the forks will just drop right on top and properly seed, just like that. Easy peasy. You lined up the rotors, the rotor between the disc brake pads, and just give some tension and then clamp it down on the other side with the quick release. Perfect. There we go. Nice and tight. Alright, now we're going to put the fender on and the light on. Now it's 1 screw right through there. Just remove the screw and then put the fender on and the light on and then just tighten it back up. Don't forget the fender stays on each side. You got to remove the 2 screws. And then just tighten it back up. That's one side. And then we're going to do the other side. Don't forget the pedals. The left side is counterclockwise. Tighten it up. And the right side is regular clockwise. And make sure that's nice and tight as well. Alright, don't forget to plug in the headlight. Again, line up the arrows on each side and then just push. No twisting. Alright, don't forget to take the keys off. You might need it for removing the battery to charge it. And then also before riding, pump up the tires full of air. Alright, well that is the Rattan Pathfinder. We're going to look at the battery here. Nice Rattan logo on the side. It is a 48 volt 15 amp battery. Here's your key to release the battery if you wanted to take the battery out. Now what's cool about this battery has its own on and off switch, which is really cool. Now if the battery is off, you won't be able to turn the bike on, so it's a nice little added security measure. And moving on down to the crank, and then back, you have a Sunrace derailleur system. You even have a derailleur guard, which is nice to have. You also have a Shimano cassette in the back. Now there's a 750 watt motor that peaks at 1200 watts. You have plastic fenders. You have a nice thick rear rack with integrated tail light. Now you do have hydraulic brakes with 180mm rotors. Here's a quick release seat post for the saddle. You have some nice clamping leather grips. You have hydraulic brakes with 180mm rotors. Here's your controls for your display, up and down for the pedal assist. You got lights, you have information button, and a power button. You have our thumb throttle, which is really cool. It's on the left side. And you also have the switch to turn on for the display. Now display, you can also link to your phone. So you can sync your phone, the app to the display. Love that it's a color display too. Love that. It is a 8-speed Shimano thumb shifter. It's a trigger shifter on the bottom there. You do have some holes for a front basket or other mounting accessories. Again, love that motorcycle style headlight. It is integrated into the battery. Another cool feature is that remote lockout. It goes all the way up to the switch right next to the thumb throttle. Now that means when you're riding, you can actually remote lock your shocks and unlock them on the fly. So all this is sitting on some CST BFT 26x4 fat tires. It's got a 400-pound payload capacity. Now we're taking it out for a spin. We found it, going up to 65 miles range on pedal assist. Now, of course, that depends on the person's weight and terrain. You get about half that on throttle. And we did have it up to speeds of 30 miles an hour on pedal assist. Of course, that's after we changed a few settings in the display. It also has 3 speed modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. We also had up to 25 miles an hour on throttle, which is actually pretty good because most bikes are limited at 20 miles per hour on the throttle. So it was really nice to see that it went a little bit higher. Now, we will put the link to the Rattan website down below in the description. So if you're interested in Rattan, want to check it out, go down in the description, check that out. Again, please like and subscribe, especially if you want to keep updated on the latest content and uploads on e-bikes. And my name is Nelson. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.